Yeah. I know. Well, listen. This game was damn near just as atrocious, but not as. Obviously, the score wasn't as bad. So, yes, we still have to hang our heads because we are still in a five-alarm fire pitcher crisis. 100%. We still are getting knocked out at mound. Look at all of these ERAs. It's definitely been to that. So I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I came in today fully prepared to go ahead and give us our game of Cardinals pitcher, mound, rotation, bullpen, all of the above, with a few exceptions, of course. So yeah, this was my intention to continue this and to, in protest, not show my face until we can start turning around this pitching because this pitch needs to be like I should go on like some sort of hunger strike or something like that. I ain't gonna lie. But the reason I won't, and the only reason I'm gonna take a break from the character baghead is because of what's going on with Pozo. Y'all see what's going on with Pozo? Pozo outside, man. He pulled up last night. This is a dude who was called up because of Ivan Herrera's unfortunate demise not too long ago. So this is something to be happy about. So it doesn't necessarily, mean that it changes the outcome of the game. But it did hit a home run yesterday, which was dope. So let's get into that on the other end of this introduction. Pull up, y'all. Thank y'all for being heard. As I said before, yes, Pozo is unfortunately coming up because Ivan Herrera is placed on the IL. But here's the good news: 10 days is not too long. All right, we're talking about 9 games, so hopefully he comes back even better. And hopefully the injury, as Marmo said after the game the other day, is not that bad. We definitely miss the slugger who is just coming into his own. So we hope he is coming back with the fire under his feet, ready to hit that thing once again. But I did want to at least shout out the homie Pozo, all right, because Mr. Pozo is coming and proving that he is possibly good to be a part of the catch patch. All right, Joel is now coming back for the first time. He's been off of the radar for a little bit, but his whole story is actually interesting. So the thing about Joel is that even though he was with the I believe it was the Rangers before he came in with the Cardinals a long time ago, and another team as well, I believe. But while he's been here, he's been going through some struggles. Like the dude actually was I believe homeless for a little bit. He was homeless like damn near right before the game, which is crazy. I mean, can you even imagine that? So it's weird. Let me go ahead and if you will, humor me, and I want to read this article that was written by John Denton, who's an inside guy from the St. Louis Cardinals, who I believe writes for the Dispatch, but I will make sure I fact check that and don't put him in the wrong company. But no, excuse me. Okay, no, he actually covers the Cardinals for MLB.com. But yeah, this is the story of Mr. Joe L, who was a hero last night with his home run, despite the fact that he didn't win. Just go ahead. Let me give this real quick. So when Joel Pozo finally got his wish at what he joyfully called a second debut in the big leagues, there was never a question that his wife Paola and their 2 kids would hurriedly travel along with him to Pittsburgh. After all, the Pozo family has remained together through good times and bad as Joel has chased his baseball dreams. Even now, they follow the catcher around on every road trip, regardless of where he's playing. They were together again on a frigid night, Monday night, for Pozo's second shot at the big leagues, just as they were together back in 2020 when they shockingly found themselves homeless and living out of the family car. So this dude has experienced some adversity, and for him to hit this means a lot more to him probably than it does for the Cardinals, but I will continue. So Monday certainly presented happier times as the family flew most of the morning from Memphis, Tennessee, which is where the Redbirds play. All right, that's their AAA team, and did drive in Pittsburgh until an hour before the team bus departed for PNC Park. Despite the Cardinals losing 8-4 to the Pirates, Pozo ripped a homer in his STL debut, and he threw out a runner trying to steal second while playing in front of a roughly 15 family member base in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It feels good with the individual part, but it doesn't matter too much because we are trying to win, said Pozo, who played a big league game for the first time since 2021 when he was with the Rangers. I'm happy to hit the homer, but I'd prefer to win the game. Man, look at the boy. He's saying the right things. So this is the part right here that I thought was honestly the most significant. So let's get a little deeper into why I think that this was worth taking Baghead off for the day just to give Pozo his flowers. So check this out. So Pozo, as discussed before, the 27-year-old Pozo is a native of Venezuela. All right, so he fits right in with Contreras. He was promoted to replace injured catcher Ivan Herrera, like I said, who was diagnosed with a bone bruise in his left knee that is expected to sideline him for 4 weeks. Having excelled at as a hitter at practically every level he's played in during his career, Pozo showed an ability to crush big league pitching just as he did during a short stretch with the Cardinals late in spring training. That time included bullpen sessions with left-hander Matthew Liberatore, who I'll talk about later, who steadied himself following a 3-run second inning. Pozo gets some of the credit for that in-game turnaround, Liberatore says. He can swing, Liberatore says of Pozo, whose 6th-inning home run got the Cards back to within 4-2. He was super open to whatever I wanted to do. He had great energy behind the plate. Came to me after the second inning and said, hey, slow down a little bit. We started pitching. We stuck with that plan and it worked. Did it work though? We'll talk about that later. All right, last little bit and then I'll go ahead and quit this. So Pozo had to work with his son. Pozo had to work to dig his family out of a rough spot in 2020 when his son, then infant son, Paul, suffered a stroke when he was just a few months old. Hold on a second. Alrighty, and as I was saying, this part, I'm just going to start from the get right here, just so we could be continuing from the same place. Mr. Pozo had to work to dig his family out of a rough spot in 2020 when his then infant son, Paul, suffered a stroke when he was just a few minutes old. It's crazy. You think about that, man. Your kid has a stroke at a few months of age. Now, I mean, granted, it was 2020. That doesn't make it any easier because obviously he's dealing with some lifetime impact. All right. So he suffered this stroke when he was just a few months. That happened just about the time when the COVID pandemic shut down sports and canceled the minor league season. So that meant Pozo was out of work and didn't have any insurance at the time. His son needed multiple appointments a week just to visit a pediatrician and a neurologist. So those stresses not only zapped the family's finances, but it left them often going hungry and living out of a Hyundai Sonata. All right. He says, we were homeless in 2020 when my kids was in the hospital. So that gave me the drive to never get down on myself in baseball, he said before Monday's game. So the whole time I've been in the minor leagues, I've been just working to put up good numbers so I can have a job and insurance to take care of my family. That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm not going to read the whole, I'm almost at the end of it, but I'm going to skip to this part. This is the part that kind of stuck with me as a dude who currently lives in the Orlando area. It says, on Monday, this is the game. The game was on Monday. On Monday, the Pozo family was a long way from the Walmart parking lot in Orlando, Florida, where they were forced to sleep in the car and ration food. Instead of driving for food delivery services, he was driving baseballs at the highest level. In good times and bad, his family has stayed together, and he wouldn't have had it any other way. Pozo says, that is why I bring my family with me on road trips, because I prefer, if he has an episode, I can run to the emergency room and be with him. As soon as I hit the homer, I knew they were sitting and I signed to them. It was a great moment, and this seems like a great dude. Have we just added another member of the catch patch? We already got 3 catchers. We just added another one, and all of them good. All of the catchers good, with the exception of Contreras right now. We still waiting on him to take off. But I thought that this was a pretty good story worth sharing. I know it took a little while to read that, and I know my reading ain't the greatest out loud. I'm sorry. It is. Look, call me what you want. But I feel like this was cool. It's good to learn that we have a little bit of catcher depth this early in the season, so that if Paez does go down, we don't have to look over at first base like, oh, Contreras, you coming back over? I mean, Contreras has been holding it down on first base. He hasn't had too many errors. He hasn't held it down in the batter's box yet, but that's a whole nother story. So I just wanted to point this out, that this was at least a glimmer of hope, a shining light at the end of this tunnel with regard to last night's outcome. Because unfortunately, as far as other things go, didn't look too good as far as the Cardinals in the production. And that is why they have the Pittsburgh Pirates over there sitting there making us look like fools, sitting there rejoicing and celebrating and being all blah, 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 ooh, we won and all that other stuff. So it was one game. And let's keep it real. I have already been on record of saying this, and if I have to, I will pull up next time again in full bag man. But the pitching is terrible. It's 5-alarm fires. Sep Palante and sometimes Sonny, JoJo sometimes, and Ryan most times. Everything in between that, which is all the games that you have to be in rotation, is not looking good. And I mean, I'm not going to harp on it because I've done it already. So I'm not going to sit here and continue to say the same thing. I don't talk in circles. I try not to when I can avoid it. But let's keep it real. A lot of these hits that these Pittsburgh Pirates got off of us came off of pitching that was not necessarily off the chain. All right. And let's keep it real as well. I mean, they pitching was decent, but we still got 4 runs off of them. And that was with one dude who had never even been in the big leagues for that long. You know what I'm saying? Off of his first time being called up. So before y'all start to skipping and daddling, you got to keep in mind, you may not necessarily be that. Now, here's what I'm a little afraid of. All right. A tiny bit, not necessarily fully, but tiny bit. We got 4 runs off of this dude. That's cool. But that's not who we facing today, is it? Yeah, today we're facing the mighty Paul Skenes. And I, for one, am not too happy much looking forward to that, if I can speak freely. Paul Skenes is like the most feared pitcher short of Tarek Skubal, I would say, in the league right now. And we're about to have to go up against this dude. Like we got to face the dude who's an all-star the same year that he made the big leagues. Like a dude who spent damn near no time in the minors. We got to face this dude. I mean, we squoze out 4 runs in this most recent game. And now we got to try to squeeze out runs against Mr. Paul Skenes, the future Hall of Famer. It's almost, I mean, the dude's stuff is completely ridiculous. He doesn't even, I mean, how do you throw those type of pitches? I mean, it's literally a lot of air bending and a lot of all of that other good stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of twists and turns and curves and spin. I mean, he's got the fastball too, though. You got the 99. You know what I'm saying? So the 99 go in so he can keep you off guard. Yeah, let's just say, not necessarily something that I'm really, really looking forward to. But like I said, at least we've got Pozo. Who knows if he shows, though? How's that go, bro? Low. Smoke a L Pro. Let's get the shell toe. Ask me, I say hell no. Who the fuck think you gonna fail for? I take it down from the knee to the elbow. Hit it, kick it. I ain't really care, so wicked. So yeah, man, that's happening. This is Mr. Paul Skenes doing his thing in real time. And yes, that's who we're going up against. So it's going to be Sonny Gray, our ace, Sonny Gray versus their ace, Paul Skenes. And dare I say, Sonny, he does that little, and then, sometimes I like when he grunts. So hopefully Sonny can give us something today to look forward to. But I ain't going to lie, man, I'm a little nervous. Kebron Hayes took us out yesterday. A lot of crazy stuff happened in yesterday's game. But one thing that didn't happen was a freaking win. We didn't get that. So let's get it up a little bit. Let's go through the box right quick and then let's cover 1 or 2 other stories going on in the MLB. Oh, by the way, you like my little graphics? I done added a couple graphics to give me a little time so I can put some stuff up in between time. Hey, look how I did that. So with regard to the bats, let's look at how the bats were. So from the bat standpoint, we got held off. Look, we were almost a third struck out. All right. Nootbaar is maintaining his presence, which is awesome. Keep more of that up, please, sir. But other than that, who else really hit? Nootbaar didn't really hit. He just didn't strike out. Well, hold on, man. Let me speak to wrong. I'm looking at the wrong column. Nootbaar struck out 3 times. It was not Nootbaar day. All right, my bad. Man, I got to keep my days together. Who didn't? Was Donovan. Donovan had a phenomenal day. Look, no strikeouts. All right, had a run, 3 hits, a RBI. It looked like he might have had a pop-up or a ground out. That's all good. Now, Mason Wynn hit a home run. Your boy hit a home run, guys. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Your boy Mason Wynn finally hit a home run.
Who's your favorite player on the Cardinals?
Mason Wynn.
What?
Because he's like that.
That's your boy Mason Wynn. So give him love. He is finally finding the bat. And guess who else came to bat? Sajasi. Thomas Sajasi pulled up and he hit something out the park too. And Sajasi ain't really even much been here. I think he was, he just been on the bench a little bit. So for him to come on up and do his thing is a big deal. So it means that we have a little bit of depth. All right. So that always helps. So that makes me happy to know that we have that. Those 3 wild cards, those 2 wild cards, Pozo and Sajasi, are good to have in the back pockets. Burley even got him a hit, even though he struck out once. That's okay. And overall, we did get, we had our average collectively was around 3. That's just, just under 3. It ain't too bad. Let's take a look at what they did over there on their pitch box. But here's a problem. Like, yeah, see, they didn't strike out nearly as much as we did. You know what I'm saying? And all of them at bats, only 7 struck out. All right. And that's collectively. And look, Keebron Hayes was all over the place. 1 run, 1 hit, got 1 walk, got 1 everything, 1 strikeout. McCutch. I happen to be a Andrew McCutcheon fan, so I can't get too mad at this dude. I happen to think dude is a high caliber player, and he's fun to watch. And I like to see dudes when they fun to watch. And I like the little skit he did with Paul Skenes, where he's like, one day you'll be an Andrew McCutcheon. That was cool. Here's some Cardinals pitching. Now look at this, guys. Come on, look at these ERAs. All right, we got 3 pitchers. Rory Croft, who has yet to really show, I've yet to really see what the appeal is. And he seems like a nice guy. It's the figure, I believe. It's because he's so tall and so lanky. It's like he looks like a pitcher, so he should be a pitcher. It's like, well, he's not just yet. He's almost a good pitcher. And I don't know you like that, Chris, so I'm not trying to talk trash, but I just know you're going to be way better than the numbers are showing that you are today. All right. Despite that, look, I mean, because look, the dude has 0.2 innings. I mean, that's 2 batters. All right. And he's got 2 batters or so. And he's got an 8 ERA. Libby, at least, I mean, he was a starter, and that's about 1 an inning at least. But I know it wasn't 1 an inning because the box shows that most of the runs came in the 1st and 2nd. Okay. So, well, even though that 7th inning was a doozy, it is what it is. But yeah, the pitching, man, look now take a look at this. You might say, well, they got 5 and 10. That's 2 pitchers. That's 5 and 10 for 2 pitchers. We have the same thing roughly for 2 plus another 8.44. All right. So yeah, we got out pitched. And you think that's not going to happen tonight when we got to face Paul Skenes? Paul Skenes? I don't even think about it, bro. This dude right here is just, it's going to be nasty. So we will look forward to that. And we will report back at 0800 with hopefully something to report at least good from what feels like potentially it will be a loss. But I hope that's not the case. And it's not, I don't know. Let me not say that it could be a loss. Let me honestly back up and be a little better because it's not like he's the only ace that's coming to town. Sonny Gray is a bona fide ace. Is he my favorite person in the world? Nah, I'm not really, a huge Sonny Gray fan, for multiple reasons. But at the end of the day, he's a pitcher, and he's going to do what he got to do when it's time for him to do what he got to do. And hopefully today he does what he got to do. Because we need Sonny to keep them from having to dig themselves out of the hole that they are in right now with regard to losses and with regard to the series, because we're already down 0-1 on the series. So let's go, Sonny. Let's keep that thing popping. Let's keep them things fast. Let's keep them spinning, keep them guessing. Just keep grunting, keep doing your thizzle. And yeah, hopefully we will be happy with said results. Right, folks? Right. That's the plan. So, on to a couple other things real quick that are going on in the MLB, and then we will go ahead and exit post-haste stage right quickly. So, the one thing that I found interesting that happened not too long ago was the fact that, first of all, I don't know if you saw Victor Robles got hurt. That was an ugly play. That sucked. And also, I'm hearing that Mookie Betts isn't really proven to be so good at first at shortstop. But I just wanted to talk about the division that I frankly believe is ridiculously stacked. And I just don't know if this is a sign of things to come or if this is just what it is right now. So I, for one, am looking at the NL West. Okay, the NL West actually has the Dodgers, the Giants, the Dodgers, Giants, Padres, excuse me, and they got the Rockies and I think the Athletics, but and the Diamondbacks, and the records are like ridiculous. And this is in the first 10, 11 games of the season, where three of this division, first of all three of them went for hellified streaks. Okay, the Dodgers were undefeated up until they were at about 7. The Padres were undefeated up until just before the weekend, and the Giants, although they started with one loss, are currently, if I'm not mistaken, undefeated ever since then. They have yet to lose since their first loss. This division got the hot streak right now, and the NL West, in my opinion, is where all of the strength is. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that the NL, the AL East has got the Dodgers, the Yankees and the Red Sox. But at the same time, it just doesn't feel like either of them are what they will be in October. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the Red Sox are doing well right now. I have a feeling that they're going to be way better than they are right now, and they're already good, but they're still kind of jiving with their team. Keep in mind, Bregman didn't get traded like way in the preseason, way in the like around the trade deadline or winter meetings. Like, that happened like just before spring training. You know what I'm saying? So they still gelling and all that stuff. The Yankees, same thing. Cody Bellinger, even with Goldsmith, even though Goldsmith is pretty uniform. I mean, we know this. All right, we know Goldie is pretty uniform. He's not going to, and he's actually been giving them some hits, and we're rooting for Goldie. Come on, give me a break. Goldie's good people, and it's not like he was traded. His contract was up. He went somewhere else. He got money. So I still don't think though that you take that division where they have records of 6-4 versus this other division where they have records like 8-1 and 9-2 and 8-2. I just don't think that they stack up. So they're gonna. You're almost poised to believe that one of the members of this particular division will be in the World Series, if not a World Series runner. You happen to believe that, right? Like, one of these top three would probably be those. And why not? I mean, Fernando Tatis, complete stud, hella entertaining. Manny Machado, come on, give me a break. Them Padres is fun to watch. If Pavetta can figure it out, he had a bad day the other day, they're going to be all right. If they get Musgrove back, they're going to be all right. Dylan Cease is still there. They going to be all right. Without Higashioka, without Profar, they're going to be all right. Looks like even Jason out there in the outfield has been holding his down. So good on him, you know what I'm saying? Even in his experience, being able to Hayward it out. And for what it's worth, Jackson Merrill just signed that contract. So he's probably going to try to make sure that this year he can prove that he was worth that thing. Tatis come on, man. Tatis is an all-star, man. You got to give him a break, man. So, yeah, I think those cats is really fun to watch. I hope they make it. But them Dodgers, even with the Mookie flu, Mookie was able to push through and do as well as he did, hitting them home runs. Shohei's just getting started. He's popping off, and he's set to pitch sometime next month. Man, and Freddie's not even there, and they got this record. Freddie's not even in. Max is in. Kike's playing first base. They are 9-2 with this, and the depth is ridiculous. So it's the Giants that's the real wild card. Can Elliot Ramos really hold this team down for that long? Huh? Are they really that well equipped? Preserve this? Is this a fluke? What say you? I don't know. I'm very interested in seeing what the results are. So hopefully we'll see over the course of the next few weeks what the Giants really are. Is this a fluke? Because it feels a little fluky. I mean, I know Buster Posey is there and they got a whole new thing going on, and it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's just wow. It just feels like This is, and then you got the Rockies. We don't talk about the Rockies. Diamondbacks, I'm wishing that y'all can keep it together. Keep Marte healthy. Josh is working for you right now. It's doing well. Corbin's doing his thing. All right. Just keep that energy. Let Gino, we know it's Gino, hit them things out the park as often as possible. And everything off there with them snakes going to be all right, man. So I happen to think that the NL West is the strongest. Of course, the records show it. Despite the Yankees and all of that stuff happening, I just think that they're just way too consistent out there. I mean, we're talking the Giants, though, wild card, but the other two, consistency in the last few years. So we got to see them in the playoffs, and who's going to make it out of all them teams, I don't know. And not to mention that in order to slug it out, them teams got to go through the Mets. Okay. So that's going to be a whole thing. And right now, in terms of West and East, the Mets are the only team that contends. I put the Braves out there and they took themselves out. I mean, we're going to see what happens with other teams. But as for right now, that's where we are. So I will bid thee adieu, everybody. Thank y'all so much. Good luck today as they fly back to Pittsburgh, even though they didn't leave yet because they had the game yesterday, and face the mighty Paul Skenes. Let's wish them luck. Let's wish our boy Pozo some luck, that he has another day just as good as the day he had the other day. And let's hope that we can start to turn this thing around, man. This losing type of stuff is not what I'm here for. I really want to make sure we get back over 500 before it's too late, okay? Thank y'all so much once again. Y'all stay up. Tune in next time. We will give you an update and see if I have a bag on or not.